Welcome back, Vale Wardens. My name is Samlab, and today we'll be discussing Guild Wars 3 and its lore. I'm sure many of you watched the Summer Games Fest last night on Twitch or YouTube. You would have noticed that ArenaNet, the developer of Guild Wars 2, made an announcement about Guild Wars 3, that it will be coming to beta in the fall of 2027. And that is just next year. We don't have that many months left in this year, so month by month we're getting closer to the release of Guild Wars 3. This is amazing. I will give my reaction to this in just a moment. But if you haven't watched the trailer yet, here it is.
We all have our own reasons for coming to this vast frontier. But for our guild, we who protect this land, one reason stands above all others: our wonder. You feel it too. We see it in your eyes. Wonder at the astonishing power that shapes this land of Orr. At the great spirits to whom we are bound. At the gods who hold dominion over all. We cannot guarantee your comfort or even your safety. But if you yearn for horizons unexplored, for fellowship and purpose, for a cause worth dying for, to you, we can promise magic.
Amazing, right? So we will get into the breakdown of what I believe this trailer is all about, but first I want to tell you a little bit about what exactly Guild Wars 3 is. So Guild Wars 3 is an action-adventure MMORPG, which is good news because Guild Wars 2 was exactly the same, but this time a modern evolution of the genre that blends rich action combat, character building, and skill selection. These two things are really key for a number of reasons. Anytime it comes to MMO and the RPG aspect of MMOs, there's a lot that goes into character building and customization in order for us as players to feel immersed in the world, like we are a part of it, that we are a part of the stakes of the story of this expansive world that has hundreds of thousands and millions of people jumping in to play. And then obviously skill selection. We know that combat is going to be a thing within the world of Guild Wars, and so we want to experience a evolution of combat. And so ArenaNet are promising in Guild Wars 3 that this will be something we can look forward to. You will be able to play solo or form a band of adventurers. Very interesting wording here, because obviously with Guild Wars 2 everything is guild centric, but this time Guild Wars 3 sort of sounds like a refresh, a reboot of the Guild Wars franchise as it be, because obviously we had Guild Wars 1, which the story takes place after the events of what happens in Guild Wars 3, but we'll get into all that in just a minute. So you can play solo or form a band of adventurers, forging impactful and enduring bonds with fellow players, a formative cast of memorable NPCs, and the nature spirits that call Orr home. So, become a Vale Warden, a guardian of the land of Orr, protector of the people and spirits that call Orr home. Discover untold stories and forge lasting bonds with your fellow players as you glide leap, sprint, and ride your way across the frontier, with adventure around every corner. Or with one-of-a-kind movement system, transfers your momentum between modes of travel, providing a free-form joy of movement through a world alive with adventure. And then we have Master Action Combat. Master a combat system where depth is achieved through strategic skill use, positioning, and movement. Where action RPG combat meets Guild Wars build making, creating an unique combat experience. So this is pretty exciting, and I think that there is a whole lot here to dissect. So what I want to do now is let's take a look at the trailer, because I think that that is really important. And obviously we have this opening screen just here with a character riding what looks like a mount of some sort. I want to go back just a little bit because I think that that's really important. This background looks very interesting to me. There's a lot of vegetation, seems like a very dense forest. Obviously we know that this is the continent of Orr. We will get into what Orr is, because I'm sure many of you are like, Samlab, I have no idea what you were talking about. I've never even heard of Guild Wars 2. Don't worry, we will touch very loosely on the lore, because obviously I'm going to be making more Guild Wars 3 lore videos and dissecting that and giving you all a topside view of the story. Generally speaking, Guild Wars 2 has quite an expansive storyline, almost as big as Destiny in many ways. For those of you who are Destiny 2 fans and enjoy the lore, I hope and I think that there's some cross-section here that you will enjoy Guild Wars 3 lore also, even if you don't enjoy the game, so don't worry about that. But let's move on through this clip. So we have this person riding through a forest and this interesting looking mount. So those of you who have played Guild Wars 2 know that we have mounts. There is nothing that looks like this. So obviously it's some sort of dragon spirit looking animal. It has a head that looks kind of like a serpent with horns. I'm not really sure what it is with Guild Wars 2 and mounts and having mounts that have horns. It's really interesting that they keep they keep doing this theme of having these antlered looking mounts. But needless to say, it looks very cool. Let's move on. So then now we get this cut, right? And we hear a voice talking, and we get this tapestry that's being woven, telling us or giving us a brief teasered idea as to what is happening. Because obviously the continent of Orr is not Tyria. Tyria right now is the central continent with other areas connected to it that make up the majority of the world of Guild Wars that we've experienced so far. And that map is huge. They keep adding more to that map. And there's a Guild Wars 2 announcement that I'll share with you after we've talked about Guild Wars 3. But yeah, I just wanted to paint a picture for context because it's really important in terms of where we're going next. So now we see the rider riding out into this playing field. We're getting snapshots of scenery here. I don't know much about the general geology of the continent of Orr, but I would imagine that these mountains are quite important. And I have gone back and refreshed myself on the lore, and as I've read it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how much of Guild Wars lore is like the book I'm writing. It makes so much sense now that a lot of the, I don't know, not themes or flavors, but just like the scale of the world. I think I've unintentionally been influenced by Guild Wars 2 many years later, even though I haven't jumped in the game for a long time, but I will be getting back into it. But the story is just so connective. Lots of narrative threads, lots of celestial planes, primordial beings, deities, gods, creatures, all sorts of things, machinations, plots, all the kinds of things that lore lovers will know and love. So that was a big moment right there, right? The ArenaNet team have talked a lot about traversal, so we know in this upcoming game that wall running appears to be a thing, some form of wall running. Obviously, this is a, I guess, edited and formatted scene that has been put together within the game's engine. Now, given the look, I'm going to assume that Guild Wars 3 will run on Unreal Engine 5. There has been no conversation about what engine it will run on, and I haven't seen anything in the general press kit that would lead me to believe that it is running on Unreal Engine 5. Also, we know that Unreal Engine is working on UE6, so I don't know if Guild Wars 3 is running on a UE6 prototype or it's running on UE5, but regardless, I would imagine that building their game on the latest versions of UE5 will enable them to do a whole lot of things that they couldn't do in Guild Wars 2 and iterate quickly. There's a lot of engineering and research and development that goes into making all of these things possible, but it just looks beautiful and breathtaking. I also like the fact that, like, we're getting some diversity in characters. That's something that didn't happen a whole lot in Guild Wars 2 till much later. Obviously, it's a fantasy world, so the human race was typically non-ethnic, so it's great to see an opening cinematic with an ethnic character. I really appreciate that, being ethnic myself, being a black man myself. So it's always really good to see that. And before anybody says anything about woke, please don't come in the comments with that kind of energy. This is not the community for it. We embrace everybody. We love everybody. This is a safe space, and we're going to keep keeping it that way. So here we have the gods of Tyria. Really interesting here, because the gods are really important to Guild Wars 2 in a number of ways. And yeah, let's touch on those like briefly, because I think it's really important, because they influence the story of Guild Wars 2. So there's 6 gods, okay, as we can see in this clip right here, and I'm going to tell you their names. So there is Balthasar, who is the god of war. He uses fire and courage. There is Dwayna, the goddess of healing, who uses air and warmth and life. And there is Melandru, the goddess of nature. Lissa, the twin goddess, right? And then there is Grenth, god of darkness, and Cormir, god of order. Now, before then, there were two other gods, right? Or 3, technically. There was Abaddon, god of water and knowledge, who succeeded Cormir. And then there was Doom, the god of death, who succeeded Grenth. But they are the former gods, right? So they came before who are the current 6. Now, I'm going to assume from this picture that that guy in the middle is Doom, and I'm not sure which one of these is Abaddon, but I know that this tapestry clip goes on further, so let's keep playing it because it's really important. But yeah, there were 6, right, of the human gods in Guild Wars, who were extremely powerful divine beings, who emerged from somewhere deep in the mists with powers that rival those of the Elder Dragons. They are worshipped by the Forgotten, who are a race of people, and we can probably do a video on who the Forgotten are. I'm probably going to do a ton of videos on like who all these different races and groups are generally, to just give you a quick idea of who they are and what to expect. But the Forgotten were an ancient race of serpents associated with both the dragon champion Glint and the six gods. And they allied with the other elder races of the dwarves, the Jotun, the Mersat, and the Seers to oppose the elder dragons during the previous Dragon Rise. So right now in Guild Wars 2, the story has been about the second Dragon Rise, okay? So Guild Wars universe works in cycles, and so the dragons rise, they cause all sorts of calamity to the planet resets itself, the dragons die or they go to sleep. The dragons that do die can be reborn. There's all sorts of really deep lore and complicated aspects of what's involved in that. But yeah, there be dragons, and you all know how I feel about stories about dragons, which is why I loved Guild Wars 2. I still love Guild Wars 2's story and lore. But yeah, to pick up where we were before about the 6 human gods, okay, so they had a central position which was within human culture, but they retreated from the worldly affairs of the last 250 years within Guild Wars, okay? But the 6 historically also had some worshippers from native Tyrian races, such as centaurs and dwarfs, and then possibly the Naga, who are like fish people. It's the best way to describe them. Not mermaids, like literal, like orca people. It's probably a good way to describe them. And the Norn viewed the 6 as spirits of action, and they compared them to the spirits of the wild, because the wild folk had their own spirits that I guess you could say are like spiritual gods in that sense. Gods with a small g. And so there's all sorts of opposing tiers of forces, very similar to like Destiny 2 and the 9, and how the 9 are on the 4th dimension, and we as Guardians in Destiny are on the 3rd dimension. And then there's never ever been real conversation about like what would be considered the 2nd or 1st dimension. And then we have the Winnower, we have the Traveler, and the Veil that kind of function between like 3rd and 4th dimension, maybe 5th dimension is where I would place the Winnower. And the idea with the pantheon of the gods is that there are hundreds of gods. So I have no idea if these 6 gods are just 6 gods within Guild Wars 2 to 3 universe and that's it, or if there's more. But that lore is expansive and we could go on forever pulling out different gods from different places. So that was just to give you a brief summary quick lore recap of what you can expect from the Guild Wars 3 story. But in terms of the continent of Orr, it is / was a kingdom where the first human kingdom was established on the continent of Tyria, and it was created by both god and man. From 100 BE, the kingdom was ruled alongside Ascalon by King Doric until his death in 1 BE, and Orr gained its independence in the 2-year AE at the time of the Second Great Corsair War, and then there was King Zoran's reign. So the Orrian territory is known to have extended into the Tarnished Coast, which is another region in Guild Wars. And at some point I need to find the map so that you can all see what that looks like and we can have a look. But this is just a little bit of a taster. So now that I've given you a quick background on Guild Wars 3, there was a special announcement today that ArenaNet have made. So I want us to quickly have a look at this announcement because I think it's really important for the future of where we're going, and I'm going to zoom into it a little bit so that you can all read along with me. So it says the future of Guild Wars franchise, our commitment to Tyria. Okay, so because with the announcement of Guild Wars 3, ArenaNet said, don't worry, we've got news for you about Guild Wars 2. So here it is. Yesterday was a huge day for ArenaNet and our community. We revealed that we are developing Guild Wars 3 at Summer Game Fest with an announcement trailer, which we all just watched. We also published an informative blog covering some exciting new sales, both in-game and outside of it, to celebrate our big reveal. Today, we invite you to hear directly from studio head Colin Johansson, Guild Wars 2 game director Josh Davis, and Guild Wars Reforged game director Stephen Clark Wilson about the future of the Guild Wars franchise. So they did a 11-minute video. We're not going to look at that right now because I don't think it's really relevant to this discussion we're having, but well, it is technically relevant. They go into detail about what their promises are, but it's also written here. So Colin and Josh will be hosting a live stream next week on Twitch. We'll definitely be tuning into that. I don't know if I'll be live streaming on that Tuesday because that is the same Tuesday that Destiny 2 drops Monument of Triumph. So I don't want to miss that by watching this, but we'll see. We may watch it. As Josh mentioned in the video, after Guild Wars 2, Visions of Eternity wraps up in September, which is the last content drop for this expansion for Visions of Eternity, just FYI. We're turning our attention to improving the foundations of Guild Wars 2, and we want to make the most of it with your help. Starting with our first Hall of Monuments update coming later this year, we're going to spend nearly a full year going back through each era of Guild Wars 2, making meaningful improvements to the player experience. Head over to the new feedback forum and share your ideas on what you'd like us to address. We're excited to shape the future of Guild Wars 2 alongside the community and ensure its continued success for many years to come. This right here is probably the smartest idea for a game developer, and I feel like ArenaNet has learned both from their own mistakes and the mistakes of everybody else, and what better way to continuously update than like literally have the community help you build the game, right? And then getting to discuss the realities of that, adding things in. So in a way, Guild Wars 2 is constantly refreshed and is like this huge onboarding into Guild Wars 3, and yet Guild Wars 3 is like the start. So it's really interesting. We started after the beginning with Guild Wars, and then we continued into the future with Guild Wars 2, and now we're going back to the beginning before the beginning with Guild Wars 3. Now, I believe that Guild Wars 3 is set several years in the past. Now, I want to find this information because I couldn't find where it was set. So let's do a quick Google, because I think that that's really important. We don't need this. When is Guild Wars 3 is set? And we'll probably jump ahead. Yeah, here it is. It's in the title. It's set 1,000 years before the original Guild Wars, so that would be Guild Wars 1, and it's coming to PC and PlayStation, which is also very relevant. So yeah, this is really good news for us when it comes to Guild Wars 2. Let me know if you're excited about this, if you're looking forward to hearing more lore about Guild Wars 2. I am definitely looking forward to hearing and seeing more about what they want to do with Guild Wars, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of the deeper lore with you and having some more videos that they're a little bit more structured than just this video here, but I wanted to do a react / talk about the future of Guild Wars with you all. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see more Guild Wars 3 lore videos, then don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to find out when my next lore videos go live. Remember that no matter what you're facing at this moment in time, you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.